This conference will now be recorded.
Sorry, you were on mute.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Let's start the session. So I think by this time, everyone created that AWS Tradar account. So if not, please create that one and practice daily, whatever we are discussing, and just come up with some doubts. So then only I'll feel that you practiced and you are getting whatever I'm telling. Okay, so yesterday we have seen, right, how to create some IAM users and then how to log in instead of root user with the help of IAM user, how to log in. So if it is a root user, we need mail ID and the password to log into the AWS account. If it is the IAM user, we need three details. See, so once I switched from root user to the IAM user, it will be asking account ID. Account ID, we have to provide it over here. Then IAM username and the password. Three details we need it over here. For now, I will be logged in as a root user. And if I needs to show you to log in as an IAM user, one more window where I'll try to log in as an IAM user. And yesterday we have seen about groups concept also, how to create the groups and how to add users to the group and how to maintain the permissions at the user level and at the group level. So to make some difference between whenever there are multiple people and I want to add the same permission within the group, all the people I want to grant the same permission. At the time, I can able to provide that at the group level. So if I want to provide the permission to an individual user, separate permissions if they need, at that time, we have to provide the permissions at the user level. If it is common permissions, we have to provide at the group level. And again, a single user we can able to add to multiple groups also. In that case, he can able to get all the permissions which are presented inside the groups, all the groups. Okay. And along with that, whatever the permissions we have added to him individually, that also he can able to access. So in that way, we can, the user, the permissions which are added directly to them are the permissions which are coming from the groups, all those things he can able to access. And the next topic we have seen policies. There are three types of policies are there in IAM. Uh, so the policies are AWS managed policies is the one category, customer managed policies is the second category, and the third one is called inline policy. Okay, so still Swati is facing audio issue. Okay, anyway, she'll go through that video last session. We will continue with the topic. So yesterday we have discussed about users concept and then groups concept and then policies. These three topics we have covered. So users are nothing but any person who is working in the project, okay, in our team. So we have to create a separate IAM user for him. So once the user creation time, you have the choice to select whether you want to provide the AWS management console access or programmatic access or both the access. So like that, you can able to select the option, and at the time of creation of the user itself, you can decide whether they want to reset their password for the first login or not. You have to check that box such that they should reset their password for the first login. So like that, the users can get the credentials from the cloud engineer. Okay, cloud engineer means who is working on that AWS cloud at all. So they will get the credentials and they will log in with them with the temporary credentials, and then it will provide the option to reset the password. So now where we can able to set that password policy. Yesterday I have set, I shown you, right? I told you. So we have the control to set the policy. called password policy, like whether you need to use at least one, let's say, at least one uppercase letter. So I want to design my password policy like this: at least one uppercase letter, at least one lowercase letter, and numeric characters, all the numeric characters it can able to work with, and the password length may be some 8 character or some 15 character. Usually in our organization we are using some 15 character length, very big password they'll use, and along with that the last 5 passwords or the last 10 passwords will not be reused, such that we will form some password policy. So where we have to set this password policy, setting up some uppercase letter, lowercase letter, numeric characters and all, where we have to set it. So there is a account settings option is there, right? Under account settings option, we can able to set the password policy for the AWS account. See here you can see the password policy option under account settings, password policy. This account uses the following default password policy. So without setting any password policy, by default, AWS is providing this one. So the minimum password length will be 8 characters, and it can able to include minimum of the 3 following mix of characters. Minimum 3 means one is uppercase, at least one uppercase, one lowercase, and numbers, and any of these symbols. Among these 4 categories, at least 3 types of categories needs to be presented. Either it will be uppercase letter or lowercase letter or numbers and these characters. Among these 4 type of categories, at least 3 type of categories needs to be presented, and must not be identical to your AWS account name and the email address. Your password should not be equals to your email ID. Your password should not be equals to your account name. Account name is whatever the name we have set at the time of creating the account, right? It should not be similar to that one. So by default, this is the password policy. But if I want to set strong password policy, here I can able to increase the password length should be 15 characters and requires at least one uppercase letter. If it is needs to this one, then you have to set this option. If it needs at least one lowercase letter, set this one. If it requires at least one number, let's say I want this one. Suppose if I don't want a number, so like that you have to change. Then once you save this one, every IAM user needs to follow the password pattern like this. Okay, suppose let's say they need one number, they need one symbol at least, and there is a password expire time. I want to set some password expire time. So let's say if I check this box, when you want to expire your password, my password means all the IAM user password, how many days their password needs to be expired automatically. So usually in our organization, we are also maintaining 90 days, 3 months. So some organizations they may use some 30 days, some organizations they may use some 60 days, but currently we are using some 90 days of expire time. And here whenever the password needs to be expired at the time, do the administrator needs to reset or automatically they can able to reset their password? So I think it doesn't require, so that once that 90 days is completed they can able to reset. So by default we will not select this option. So if it really the administrator only can able to reset their password means you have to select this option also. Okay, and allow users to change their own passwords. So let's select this option so that the users they can able to change their passwords automatically after 90 days without the help of cloud engineer and all. Okay, and here the pass prevent password reviews. So I don't want to allow them to use the last 5 passwords. Here you can see, remember the last 5 passwords they can't able to use. Suppose last 10 passwords they can't able to use. So currently we have set last 15 passwords they can't able to reuse, because if we doesn't select this option, so they can able to set after this 90 days also, they can able to set the same password again for the next 90 days also. Okay, that's why we will allow they will not reuse the passwords. the recent 15 passwords they don't want to reset. Like that, we can set some strong password policy and click on save changes. Once you click on save changes, see all the rules will appear over here. Earlier it will be very minimal, right? Some three permissions only there, some three rules are there. But now your password, new password should follow all these rules and all. Okay, this is the password policy how you have to follow while creating some new passwords for any IAM user. Okay, this is about password policy. And next one will be MFA, multi-factor authentication, how to set the MFA. This is about password policy. Next one will be MFA, multi-factor authentication, how to set the MFA for your account. So MFA is nothing but multi-factor authentication, which is nothing but some extra security that we are providing to our AWS account to log in. So usually without the MFA, all the root users can able to log in simply by if they know the mail ID, which is the mail ID they registered the account, that mail ID and password, if they know, they can able to log in. And if it is the IAM user, account ID, IAM username, and IAM password. With those three details, they can able to log in. So extra security, if you want to set, you have to enable the MFA. So MFA is nothing but it will be linked with your mobile, and an app will be downloaded. We have to download an app in the mobile, and we have to link that mobile app to our AWS account. Then one OTP will be generated. Every time one OTP will be generated in that mobile app. So you have to enter that OTP while login along with your username and passwords. You have to enter that OTP. If you have that OTP, then only you can able to log in. So if someone knows your username and password also, if they don't have your OTP, mobile OTP, they can't able to log in. Okay, this is how MFA will help us to provide some extra security to our account. How to set that MFA? Suppose now I'll show you for the root account how to set the MFA. For root account, somewhere the option will be, let me go to the dashboard. Yeah. So for root account, under IAM dashboard, we can able to set the option. See, add MFA for the root account. Okay. Add MFA for the root account option is there, right? Just click on this add MFA. And in your mobile, you have to download an application called, there are multiple applications which is supporting this one. One is called Google Authenticator. You can go to the Google Play Store and where you can search for this application name called Google Authenticator, or DO application is there, DUO. Any one of these two applications you have to download to provide to do this MFA. Any one of the application is sufficient. Just try to download any one of the application. Okay. Uh, and one how to set, once you uh, download this one, there is a scan button is there inside the application where you have to provide that one. So currently I want to add the MFA, right? See, activate MFA button is there. Just click on that one. Let me download MFA in my mobile, and I'm setting the MFA, and I'll show you how it will be asking. Here it is showing three options: virtual MFA device, U2F security key, and other hardware MFA device. Virtual MFA device is nothing but, see, an authenticator app installed on your mobile device or computer. So that app you can able to download on your mobile, or you can able to maintain that OTP and all inside your laptop also. I'll show you that how to set that MFA in the laptop also. If you don't want to configure that with the mobile, so you can able to configure that OTP in the mobile, sorry, laptop also. That I'll show you. Uh, so this U2F and this other hardware device, these two, there will be a separate device will be given to us from the AWS. If you want to know that what is that device and all, let me show you that. So how that device will look like, I'll show you. MFA device for AWS if you type, where you can see some images. See, this is how a device we will get from the AWS. So Amazon. So if there will be an OTP will be generated every time. So that OTP you have to enter. So this device will be linked with our AWS account. Okay. So if this OTP will be entered, then only you can able to log into your portal. Otherwise, you can't able to log in. So this second option or third option, if you are selecting, so this will be, we have to get the device and then we have to link. But anyway, it doesn't require, so you can go with this virtual MFA device. Let's click on continue. And here there is a show QR code option is there. Let's click on that QR code. And the first option will be install a compatible app in your mobile device or computer. What are the list of the applications? So here you can see the applications list. So for virtual MFA, you can able to download. See, these many applications. So for Android, this Authy is there, Duo Mobile is there, LastPass Authenticator is there, Microsoft Authenticator is there, Google Authenticator, Semantic VAT. So like that, there will be multiple things. So till now, I have used this Google Authenticator and this Duo Mobile. These two applications I have used. You can download any one of these applications. For iPhone also, these are the different applications it is available currently. So let me download any one of the mobiles in my mobile phone. I have currently I have this Geo mobile is there. So let me continue with this one. Okay. And I'll show you how to link that one. So you can show this QR code, and once you open the Geo mobile app, there will be a plus add symbol will be there. If you click on the plus add symbol and the use QR code option is there. So that use QR code you can scan and then you can save. Once you scan and save, then it will start showing some OTPs, some MFA code in your app. So you have to enter that code. So for the first time, while setting up this MFA, you have to configure two codes. So the code will be refreshed for every 30 seconds inside your mobile app. So once it is refreshed, the new OTP you have to enter after 30 seconds. So let me enter the two OTPs. So once you download that app, you can able to see that one once you link with your AWS account. So now I'll be showing how to link with the root user. Later I'll show you how to link with the IAM user also. So this is the second one. Just click on assign MFA. Then you have successfully assigned virtual MFA to your account. Okay. So now I have set the MFA for my account. Let me try to log out and log in back to my account. So I'll be signing out from my account. Okay, so once I log out from my account and if I try to log in back, so then I have to enter the mail ID. Just click on next. So once my mail ID is entered, just click on next. Then this is normal security token which will be generated on the screen itself. Just enter that one. Then you have to provide your password. So earlier, after providing this password, directly it is logged in, right? If I click on sign in, but now this time it will ask some extra code that is called MFA code because this account is now linked with some MFA code, right? So now you have to see that MFA code in your mobile. And once you enter that code, then only you can able to log in. So 646533. Let me click on submit. Then only you can able to log into your account if you have that MFA. Okay, this is how you can able to configure the MFA. So now let me log in with the one user. Let me go to IAM and I will show you how to log in with some IAM user and then how to set the MFA for the IAM user. Now we have configured the MFA for the root user. So that's why it is showing this green color symbol. Okay, so every time if you are logging with this root user, I have to enter that MFA code which is linked in my mobile. If you know my username and password also, you can't able to log in without that OTP which is generated in my mobile. Okay, so that is about configuring the MFA for the root user. Suppose let's say I want to configure my MFA for the IAM user. Okay, because each and every IAM user also they needs to configure the MFA. We will enforce the users to use the MFA. Okay, so now I will try to log in with any one of the user, either it will be developer one, but I don't know the developer one password. Okay, yesterday I have saved my developer one password. Let's say today I don't know the developer one password. So developer one will approach us saying that, hey, I forget the password. Can you reset my password? So like that they will approach us. So at the time, you have to do these things. Suppose whenever any user, if they forget their password, how to reset their password? Just you have to comes to this user section and you have to click their user part. Suppose let's say developer one, he forgot the password. Just click on the developer one. So once you click on the developer one, here you can see security credentials of the developer one. So for the developer one, let's go to the security credentials of the developer one. And inside the security credentials, there is a console password option is there. See, inside the security credentials, console password option is there. So here you can click on the manage button in order to change the password of any user. So you have to click on this particular manage button. And currently the password is there. That's why it will be existed on the enable. So you have to click on disable. The existing password you have to remove, right? That's why first you have to disable and click on apply. And then now I am trying to set some new console password. Currently the password is disabled, old password, because we forgot the old password, right? So now click on manage once again and click on enable and you can set some new password. The new password will be either auto-generate password you want or some custom password. Auto-generated password means automatically it will be generated. So custom password means you can set the password whatever you want. Suppose let's say some custom, sorry, auto-generated password I'll be selecting, and here I have to provide the option to reset. So because this password I know, right? I'm generating the password means I know the password. Maybe I can misuse the password of the developer one. That's why we have to provide the option to reset their password at the next sign in. Just click on apply. Once I click on apply, a new password will be generated like this. Just copy that password, just download this CSV file, then inside that also you can able to have that password. Okay, so currently this is the password and the username will be developer one and the account name will be, account ID will be, let me copy the account ID also. These are the three details are required to log into my IAM user. Okay, so now let me log in as an IAM user in incognito mode instead of keeping logging out, login back again and again. So I'll be open incognito mode. In the incognito mode, let's try to log into the AWS account. Just search for signin.aws.amazon.com. You can get this page and just select the IAM user. Inside that, you need to provide your account ID. So once you provide your account ID, just click on the IAM username will be developer one and the password will be this one. So once you enter this password, so we have provided the option to reset their password, right? So it will provide the option to reset. First time login, it will provide the option to reset the password. So let's think we should not provide this hyphens in the account ID. That's why we are getting the exception. Let's remove that hyphens and again copy that password. Just click on sign in. Yeah. So you should not provide the hyphens in the account ID. Suppose let's say if I copy that account ID from here, we will get that hyphens. Okay. So now I want to change that password of the IAM user. Let me copy the old password first and here I should set some strong password. And here it will not allow to use some 8 characters and all, because we have set some password policy right earlier. So if you go to the account settings button, if I go to the account settings, so the password policy we have set a very strong password. Let's say I have to use some 15 character length, one uppercase letter, one lowercase letter, one number, at least one symbol, and every 90 days the password will get rotated. And so I should not use some last 15 passwords which I have configured for that developer one. So I have to follow all these rules. So let me set some strong password. So first, without setting that one, let me try to set some small password, then whether it will allow or not. Just I want to show that exception to you. What is the exception it will show if I try, if any uh, person, they are trying to change their password, they'll approach us. Hey, I'm trying to reset the password, but I'm getting this exception. So we have to fix that one. So currently, either user is not performed to change the password. See, IAM change password is not maybe two reasons. Currently, we are not able to change the password. Either of the reasons. One is he is not authorized to perform the password, or either the enter password does not comply with the account password policy set by the administrator. Any one of the two reasons. Currently, the password policy doesn't have the proper password policy which is set by the administrator. That's why we are not able to log in. So what we have to do, we have to use that 15 character length. So currently we are using only 8 character. Earlier I tried to provide only 8 character. That's why I'm not able to log in. So now let me try to set some strong password. So the same password, almost some 16 characters password I have set. Similarly, you can able to follow the password policy which you have configured. Suppose same 16 characters I have typed, just click on confirm password change. Now I think it will allow me to log in. Yes, now I have logged in, means the password is successfully saved. Okay, now I logged in with a developer one user. Okay, so now this developer one needs to set their MFA. MFA, this IAM user wants to set the MFA, means let's go to IAM. Otherwise, from this button also, so in the account button is there, right? In this button also, security credentials option is there. You can click on this button. Otherwise, you can click on IAM, any one of these two. So once you click on that security credentials button, where it will take you to the IAM page, and inside the IAM page, where you can see where you have to change the password. Okay, where you can change your password, all those things you can see it. And one more thing, I want to set my MFA, right? Here you can see assign an MFA device. From here you can set the MFA for the IAM user also. So let me set the MFA for the IAM user also. With the same mobile app, you can able to just click on plus add symbol is there, right? Where you can add multiple AWS accounts also. So now I have saved that one, and here it is generating some OTP. So just wait for 30 seconds to refresh my screen. So earlier we configured MFA for the root user. That is different. So this is different because this is different person, right? Developer one, he's a different person. Similarly, developer two, he will link with his mobile. Everyone, they have to link with their mobile. So now I'll show you how developer one can able to link. So the password is refreshed 245787. Let's click on assign MFA. So the password, sorry, the MFA is configured successfully. Now let me try to log out. Okay, sign out from this portal and I'll try to log in back. Just click on login back. So this time it will ask the MFA. So my account ID should be without this hyphens. Just copy the account ID and the username will be dev1 and the password will be, you change some password, right? You have to use that password. If you try to use the old password, it will not work. So MFA code. So you have to use that MFA code. So every time you have to enter this MFA, then only you can able to log in if it is activated with the MFA. So this is how you have to activate the MFA for a root user or for a IAM user. Suppose let's say I don't want to use the MFA. Let's say I want to deactivate the MFA once again. Then let's go to that same security credentials button or directly go to the IAM, and inside that also you can come to this page where that security credentials option is displaying. And here you want to delete the MFA, right? Just click on the manage MFA again. So just click on the remove button and just click on remove. So once you remove that MFA, then if you try to log out and log in back, then it will not ask the MFA. Okay, this is how you can deactivate the MFA for a IAM user. Now I'll try to deactivate the MFA for a root user. So root user also currently we set some MFA, right? So how to deactivate that one? Let's go to the dashboard of the root user, and inside the dashboard, currently the root user has MFA now. Somewhere here we can deactivate it. Let me check. Here it should be having some option somewhere. Let me check that one. Let me go to account settings and see. It should be either dashboard or account settings. No, in account settings it is not there. Let me go to identity providers. No, inside that it will not be. Let's go to dashboard only. Yep. Yeah. So let me go to this option. See, there is a my security credentials option is there, right? Yeah. If you don't find the option to activate the MFA or to change the password, if you're not able to find the option from here, directly you can go to this option, security credentials from this page. So if you go to this option, then automatically it will take you to activate the MFA and all. Okay. So this is the page where you can able to modify, you can add the new MFA or you can delete the existing MFA. So if you want to change the password, this is the place where you can able to change the password of the root user. Okay. So let me select on MFA and click on manage, and then I want to remove my MFA. So once you remove the MFA, next time onwards, it will not ask you enter that OTP to log in. Okay, this is how you can able to change the password over here. You can able to change the MFA over here. You can able to either activate or deactivate and all. So if you want to change the programmatic credentials, yesterday I have shown you, right? If any user is given some programmatic access, you will get some access key and secret key along with the username and password. Two more additional details you will get: access key, secret key. So for root user, you can get some access key and secret key from here. You can able to make them activate and deactivate, or you can completely delete and you can create some new access key and secret key credentials from here. Okay, these all things are related to the root user only. So if you want to see all those details for IAM user, so you can able to see it from under my security credentials button. Okay, For MFA, you can able to set it over here. For access key and secret key, you can able to create the access key and secret key for the developer one user. Suppose let's click on create access key and secret key. In order to access via programmatically, these two credentials are required. One is access key, other one is the secret key. Okay, so if you want to change the password for the developer one, just see under my security credentials. If you sorry, security credentials, if you go, so here change password option will be there to change the password for the root user. So if you want to change the password, you have to provide the current password and you have to provide the new password. Suppose let's say if you don't know the current password, by mistake you forget the password, you logged into your account but you forget the password. So you logged in means automatically you know the password, right? So that's why you can use that current password and you can set some new password. Suppose if you are not able to log in, you forget the password, at the time we will contact the cloud engineer. Hey, I forgot my password, completely reset and provide some temporary password to log in. So at the time, they will change the password. Now I'll show you how a cloud engineer will change the password of the developer one. Suppose developer one approaches the cloud engineer saying that, hey, I forgot my password for the developer one. So let's go to the developer one. And inside the developer one, let's go to the security credentials. And inside the security credentials, here the console password option is there, right? Here you can able to manage. First disable the old password and let's enable the uh, password once again. This is the place where you can able to set that one. And currently, this user, developer one user, is not activated with MFA, not assigned any MFA. If you want to activate from this page, you can able to do that one part also. And if you want to manage his access key and secret key, so from here you can able to see that one. If you want to deactivate, so currently those are in active state. If you want to make them as inactive, so those things will not work. If they are using this access key and secret key, it will not work because current status is inactive. You have to make them active if needs to work. If you want to completely delete, from here you can able to delete it. So this is how the programmatic credentials you can able to get it from this page. You can generate multiple credentials also. Suppose currently these are one set of credentials, right? So if you want, you can generate one more set of credentials. Two set of credentials you can able to set download. This is one set of credentials. This is another set of credentials. So how to access via programmatically and all we will see. This is how the users and the groups and the policies and MFA and the password policy, all those things will work inside IAM. Okay. So now the last topic in IAM is roles concept. What is meant by roles? So till now we have seen users are nothing but some humans, right? Human users. Humans, whoever either it is a developer or tester or some people who is working in the project, for them we are creating the IAM users. Groups are nothing but these are not these are some logical entities in order to manage these users in a systematic way. Okay, so we will create the groups. So policies are nothing but the permissions which are attached to either users or either groups or either to roles also we will attach the policies. Policies are nothing but some permissions kind of thing. So we have seen the types of policies, how to create those policies and all already. So there are three types of policies are there. One is called AWS managed policies, and the second one is called customer managed policies. Customer managed policies, and the third one is called inline policies. So the policies which are created by Amazon are called AWS managed policies. The policies which are created by us customers are called customer managed policies. So these both AWS managed policies and customer managed policies, we can able to attach to either multiple users or multiple groups or multiple roles. But the policy which is created only for a specific user, which is created specifically for a specific user or a specific group or to a specific role. That is nothing but inline policy. The inline policies will not be listed inside the policy section. You can't able to list them. You can't able to see them. So those policies will be directly seen which is attached to a user or which is attached to a role or group. At that place only we can see that policy, how it will look like. And again, yesterday we have seen a different concept called policy generator, how to create a policy. AWS policy generator option we have seen via UI. You can able to generate some policies by using AWS policy generator. Otherwise, in the policy section also, create policy option is there. There also, by writing some JSON format of code, or otherwise by using visual editor, we can able to create some policies, or we can able to modify the policies and all. Okay. So, and one more concept before going to these roles, there is one more concept is there, that is called policy simulator. Policy simulator option is there. What is meant by this policy simulator? Okay, policy simulator are nothing but, suppose let's say I created a new policy. But any developer, let's say developer one, he asked, hey, I want to access the S3 service. Okay, so currently he don't have the S3 permission. So he asked me to grant the S3 permission. At the time, I created a policy. Suppose if it is a AWS managed policy, simply either it is S3 full access or S3 read-only access, we can able to attach directly, because that policy is works fine, because that is not created by us. We know that is anyway correct, which is created by Amazon. Suppose sometimes we will create the policy, right? So we don't know whether the policy will work fine or not, will work as per the user requirement or not. We don't know whether we created the exact policy which the access he need and all. We don't know exactly. So without attaching the policy, first we can able to verify whether the policy is working fine or not from our end by using the policy simulator button. So where it will look like. So if you go to the user section, and inside the user section, if you go to any particular user, let's say developer one user, inside the developer one user, uh, if you open any one of the policy, let's say some customer managed policy, I think there is no customer managed policy here. Let me attach any policy which is created by me, that is called customer managed policy. Add permissions. Let me go to the attach existing policies directly. So I need some customer managed policy actually. Let me search for batch 11 related policies, because yesterday we created these policies, right? Let me select this one. So which is having the permission to S3, RDS and EC2. Let me provide this policy. So if you open that policy, see, if I open this managed policy is nothing but customer managed policy. Okay. So let me click on that policy. Somewhere you can see the policy simulator button. Here it should display that button. I think not from here. Let me go to the policy user section. Go to the developer one. Inside the developer only, somewhere we can see that option policy simulator. Let me check. So let's open the inline anyway. Okay, I think this policy, once you opened also, yeah, here you can see simulate policy button is there, right? So this earlier I opened policy completely. I clicked on that policy, but it doesn't require you have to click the policy. Just you have to expand the policy. Okay, you can expand the policy and just you can click on the simulate policy button. It will open one more window. So in that you can verify whether that particular user, developer one, can able to access any service or not. We can able to verify it over here. Suppose let's say currently this is the policy which is attached to the developer one. So this policy can able to grant the permission to RDS, can able to grant the permission to S3 service and EC2. Like that for three services, all the access we have provided. Star is nothing but inside the service, all the permission we have provided. but I want to verify whether S3 related permissions he can able to work or not. Okay, so here you can select service. So what is the service name? Let's say S3. I want to verify whether he can able to access the S3. So inside the S3, if you want to check all the service, all the actions or any specific action. Suppose let's say inside S3, there is an option called create bucket. This particular operation we can able to do inside the S3. Whether this permission is there or not, with the help of this policy, you can able to check it. Just click on, once you selected the service name, once you selected the specific action inside the service, let's click on run simulator. Then here it will show whether that particular user has allowed, whether the particular user allowed whether the particular user allowed to do this operation, this S3 related operation, he can able to do it. So similarly, whichever the permission, whether he has or not, maybe while requesting, he's saying that, hey, I want to create a new bucket. Currently, I don't have the permission to create a new bucket. So that I verified whether he has the permission or not. Similarly, I want to verify all the actions inside the S3. Inside S3, there are a lot of actions are there. Let's click on select all. Instead of selecting a specific action, I want to check whether all these permissions he has or not. Let me select this one and just click on run simulator. Then you can see for all these things, it will just verify allowed, 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 allowed. Means that all these options he can able to do. He can create a bucket, he can create a job, he can delete access point. So like that, all things he can do inside this S3 service, Amazon S3 service. Okay, suppose I'll check some different service. So here RDS is there, S3 is there, EC2 is there. Now I will select some different service which is completely different. Suppose let's say that developer one, whether he can able to identity and access management. Okay, whether he has the permission to IAM or not, identity and access management or not. So inside that also all the permissions, let's say, otherwise, whether he has the permission, let's see, deselect all. So select any one particular option. Let's say delete user permission. Whether the person has the permission to delete the user or not. Let's click on run simulator. It will verify, clear the previous results and just click on run simulator. Sorry, select again this delete user and delete group. These two permissions, whether he has or not. I want to simulate. I want to test it. So just click on run simulator. See, currently the particular developer one can able to delete the user, can able to delete the group. He has the permission. So we will see, because inside this policy there is no IAM related permission, but there is IAM full access is attached to him. From this policy he can able to delete the IAM group and he can delete that IAM user and all. Let me delete this permission and we will check once again. Okay, I have deleted the IAM full access. Now let me check this IAM policy simulator whether he can delete the user or he can delete the group. I'll check it again. Let's click on run simulate, sorry, clear the results, and let's select again delete group and delete user and delete role. So like this, whatever the permissions I want to check, just select those things and run simulator. Still it is showing uh, still it is showing they can able to delete the user, they can able to delete the group. Why? Because maybe any particular policy is attached to that particular user. Let me check which policy it is allowing. This is S3 read-only access. This is IAM user change password. This is IAM read-only access. Inside this one, S3, RDS, and EC2 related permissions only I have provided. This is RDS list permission I have provided. Maybe inside this one, yeah, only RDS related permissions only there. So this is easy to read only related things. This is CloudWatch full access. Let me check once again. Let's go back. Yeah, here it is selected, right? Earlier we have deleted the IAM full access over here actually. Inside the IAM console, we deleted that IAM full access, but here still it is selected. That's why we are getting that policy, but we deleted this permission, right? So you can go back if you want. Uh, Suppose open any policy. Let's click on simulate again. Then it will refresh whatever the permissions we deleted. It won't attach those permissions now. Okay, so now let's select that identity and access management, and I want to see whether this sometimes if you type for IAM where you can't get that exact name. Okay, IAM service is not there. This is different service. So that's why you have to type some full name, identity and access management. This is IAM here. So inside the IAM, let's say I want to verify whether he has the permission to delete the role, to delete the group, and to delete the user, whether he has the permission or not. Let me click on the run simulator. See, he don't have the permission. Denied, denied, denied. Means he don't have the permission to do these operations. Delete role, delete group, delete user. Currently, he don't have the permission. So before just giving the access or deleting the access, we are verifying from our end. As a developer, one user, without login to that user, we can able to verify what permissions he has by using this policy simulator. Okay, any particular service, whether he has the permission or he don't have the permission, we can able to check. So if you want to clear the results from here, you can clear the result and you can select one more option. Just you can run the simulator again. If you go back here, you can able to see what are the policies are attached to that particular developer. It is displayed over here. If you go back once again, here the users, suppose instead of developer one, let's say I want to simulate the developer two permissions. Then for developer two, what and all policies are attached, it will display. So for those three policies, what permissions he can able to do, what permissions he can't able to do, and all you can verify by using policy simulator. Any doubts on this? This is about policy simulator. Let me know if you have any doubts. Okay, the last topic in IAM we are going to discuss is roles. So the IAM users, IAM groups, all those things are nothing but for some human users, policies are nothing but some permissions we are attaching. So what is meant by roles? So instead of IAM human users, so for some applications also, sometimes we have to provide the access to uh, in order to access my AWS account. Let's say my application, one of my Java application. Let's say I have a Java application. Okay, my Java application needs to interact with S3 bucket. Or usually my Java applications and all, it will not interact with IAM. It will not create a new user. It will not delete the existing user and all. It won't do those operations, but it needs to do something which is related to EC2. It needs to do something. Maybe inside S3, I have some data. It needs to get the data, or it needs to write some data, new data. So some other services where it needs to have the access. So it needs to interact with some other services means maybe it needs some username password. Okay, it needs some username or password if you want to access the UI base, or if you want to access via programmatic way, it needs some access key, secret key, access key, and secret key. These two values are required if you want to access via programmatic way. So access key and secret key is needed. But how to get that access key and secret key? Suppose if I have an IAM user, then I can able to get the access key and secret key. Suppose for developer one, I need to get an access key and secret key means go to the security credentials, and inside the security credentials, you have to generate the credentials from here. We can generate two set of credentials here. So third set of credentials we can't able to create. Third set of credentials we can't able to create. So if you want to create one more set of credentials, you have to delete the existing set of credentials and then you can able to delete. While deleting, see, first you have to deactivate, and then to confirm the deletion, you have to provide that access key. You have to copy that access key, and then you have to paste that access key over here. Then only the delete button will appear. Then you can delete that access key. Okay, whenever you want to delete the credentials like that, it will you have to do that one. So this is about policy simulator. Now we are discussing about roles. So any application. So suppose let's say I have a Java application which I needs to deploy in EC2 server. So my EC2 server needs to have the permission, maybe to interact with S3, maybe to interact with some new service called RDS, maybe it needs to interact with CloudWatch service. So like that, maybe in different services in AWS, my EC2 server needs to interact. Okay. So at the time, it needs to have the permissions to interact with those services and all. So at the time, instead of creating some IAM user, there are two options to provide the access to the AWS account for any Java application or .NET application, whatever it may be. Once it's deployed on one of the server, where we can provide the access to the AWS resources in two ways. One is by creating an IAM user. So if I created an IAM user where we have some access key and secret key, So if we have the IAM user, we know, right, how to generate the access key and secret key from this button. So you can configure the access key and secret key inside the server, and you can able to access the resources. But we have not shown till now how to access the AWS resources via programmatically by using this access key and secret key. I'll tell you that one. But with if you know this access key and secret key, you can able to access. Okay. But the second way will be IAM role. So IAM role, it doesn't generate any access key and secret key. Okay. Suppose this is not a recommended way. So with the help of this way also, my Java application or the application which I have deployed in server can able to interact with the AWS resources, but this is not a recommended way by Amazon. So this is the recommended way for any servers kind of thing. Instead of storing access key and secret key, you have to create an IAM role. Okay, suppose let's say for my EC2 server, currently it needs to interact with the S3. Okay, so then you have to create an IAM role for EC2. So how to create that IAM role for an EC2? Let me go to the role section. Okay, let me go to the roles section. Inside the role section, there are a lot of roles already existed. Okay, so now I want to create a new role. So let's click on create a new role. And here there are a lot of types of the roles are there. But currently we are creating the role for the AWS service only. Okay. So inside AWS service, so which service you want to create the role? I want to create an IAM role for my EC2 service. So later we can see some more service called Lambda. For that also you can able to create an IAM role. For example, let's consider for EC2 service, you want to create an IAM role. Let's select that EC2. So let's click on next. So here you can attach the permissions. For that, this role, what permissions you are going to attach. So here you can see the permissions which you have created also. You created some permissions, right? Bash 11a. So those permissions you can able to attach it. I told you, right, already, policies can be attached to either IAM users or to IAM groups or to IAM roles also. Suppose let's say for this IAM role, I want some this policy permission. Let's attach that policy. Just click on next. And what will be your role name? Let's say my role name will be Bash 11a admin role. Okay, admin role I'm giving, and just click on create role. Then a new role will be created. Here you can see creating role Bash 11a admin role. So this is how you have to create a new role. So then what is the use of this role? Currently, Here we don't know what is the use of role, just we will create the role. But once we created a server, suppose in EC2 and all, I'll explain. So while we created a server in EC2, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, Monday, we will discuss about EC2. So at the time, we will attach, suppose let's say my server needs to have some permission to some other AWS resources. At the time, we will attach this IAM role, whichever the IAM role we have created now. So for that time, so while creating the server, we will attach this IAM role. So then automatically my server without any access key and secret key and all, so it can able to access the resources which are provided inside that IAM role. Okay, so this is how the IAM role will work. Suppose I can create an IAM role for some other service. Let's say there is a service called Lambda. So for that service also you can create an IAM role and you can attach that IAM role to the Lambda such that my Lambda can able to interact with the other AWS resources. Which are all resources it needs to interact and all. We will provide such permissions to the IAM role. Okay, this is about IAM roles. So whenever you want to delete an IAM role, you can able to delete also. Okay, just to select that particular role and delete that role. That's it. Okay, this is how the IAM roles will be helpful. But we will see how to attach that IAM role to the EC2 server and all while discussing with the EC2 topic we will discuss. Okay. And the last topic that I want to discuss with you, anyway, we have the time. That's why I'm adding one more topic over here in IAM. So how to access that IAM via programmatically. Actually, programmatic way I'll discuss for the batches in separate class. Anyway, we have the time. So now I'll show you how to access the AWS via programmatically. So till now we have discussed console access. Okay, AWS console, how we can able to access them. This is the way how to log into the console and how to access the resources. I created a user, I created a role, I created a group, I deleted the user and all like that. Multiple things we did, right? So now via programmatic way, how I can able to do all those things and all, I'll discuss now. AWS, that is called AWS CLI. Okay, so this is the UI part, how I am able to access the UI, user interface and all. So this is called CLI. CLI is nothing but command line interface, command line interface. Okay, AWS CLI, how I can able to work with AWS CLI, or this is also called AWS programmatic access. AWS programmatic access. Suppose via console or via UI, if you want to log in, what details you want, you need the username and the password. Suppose if it is IAM user, extra account ID is required. That is different concept. So if it is the CLI, we need two details. One is called access key and the other one is called secret key. These two details we need it. Anyway, we can able to generate the two details for the developer one, and I'll explain how to access via CLI. So in order to access via CLI, we need a software needs to be downloaded to our laptop. So that is called AWS CLI. So how to download that one? So till now we have not downloaded any softwares, right? This is the first software you have to download to your laptop. So going forward, we will discuss what and all things we have to download in order to work with AWS. So this is the first software currently you have to download to your laptop. So how to download that one? Let's go to the browser and search for AWS CLI download. AWS CLI download for Windows. Suppose let's say if you are working with Windows laptop, just download it for Windows. So if you are working on Mac, just download for Mac. That's it. Okay, let me type AWS CLI download for Windows. Then it will open one documentation called installing or updating the latest version of AWS CLI. Let's open that one. So it will open one of the AWS document, and inside the document where they will provide the link, whether you want to download it for Linux or Mac operating system or the Windows operating system. Currently, I am working on Windows operating system. So in Windows operating system, this is the file you have to download. Download and run the AWS CLI installer. for Windows 64-bit operating system. So this is the link once you click on. So an MSI file will be downloaded to your laptop. So first we will verify whether it is already downloaded to my laptop or not. First I will show you. So how to verify that one. So inside your Windows laptop, let's search, let's go to command prompt. Let's open command prompt. Okay, search for command prompt. So open the command prompt inside your Windows laptop. So you can able to open like this. C directory inside users folder. What will be your default username of the Windows? So that will open. Okay. So now here you can search for AWS hyphen hyphen version. This command you can type it. So if you already have the AWS CLI, then you will get some version over here. If it is all not there, then you will get that AWS command not found, something like that exception you will get. Currently, you can see AWS CLI 2.2.35. Some version is already there. It is already installed. So let's say I'll try to remove that particular version. I'll try to install from the scratch. Suppose if already version some AWS CLI is installed, how to delete that one, how to clean up that one. Okay, I'll show you that one also, and I'll try to install from the scratch. There is a control panel. If you want to uninstall any service which is already running in Windows laptop, so just you can go to the control panel and uninstall a program, or just open the control panel. Otherwise, directly you have to go to this uninstall a program. First, let's open the control panel. So once you open the control panel, so here you can see uninstall a program option is there. All the programs which are running, which are installed in your Windows laptop, you can see it over here. So you have to uninstall a program. So what is that one? So AWS CLI is the one thing I want to uninstall. AWS CLI, let me check. Yeah, this is the one. So AWS command line interface, CLI means command line interface version 2 is running. So 101 MB, so which is running. So let me try to first uninstall, because I want to show you from the scratch how it will get installed again and all I want to show you. So let me uninstall. So it will take some time to get uninstalled completely. So any doubts till now? Meanwhile, it will get uninstalled. So please ask if you have some doubts and queries. So I need some interactive session. Don't be just sit quiet. So you have to ask some doubts and all. Then only I will feel that you are in sync with me. So once it is uninstalled, so for the first time you are installing, just you can follow this document to installing and all. So meanwhile it will get uninstalled. So just you can click on this one, it will get downloaded. So once I uninstall, then I'll try to download. So if you are working parallelly with me, just try to download this link. Just click on this link. If your Windows laptop is 64-bit one, just you can try this one. For 32-bit, some older laptops and all also, somewhere they will give that version. You can just type for 32-bit laptop, you will get some different link. So I think most of the laptops are 64-bit, I think. Let's click on this link where it will try to download automatically. So So once it is uninstalled, if you go and check the same command, so if you go and once I uninstall, so if I check the same command, aws --- version command, so it will not show this one. It will say some exception saying that AWS command not found, something exception it will display. It will not show the versions like this. Okay, so let it get uninstalled first. It will ask the confirmation also, yes or no. You have to type yes. I typed already. You have to press yes. Then it will get removed completely.
Sir,
Yeah, please.
sir, while working, which one we use mostly, sir? Programmatic access or console?
CLI, this console only, mostly console only, but one or two services like S3 and all, we will use CLI. I'll tell you that S3 commands, which and all things we will use CLI. And all.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, mostly console only. 95% of the companies they'll use console only, but we have to know that CLI also, how to form that. For CLI and all, everything we have to, we need to know that commands, how to create a user, how to create a delete a user, how to create a group. For everything, we have to know the commands. So, but the commands and all also, it doesn't require that we have to by heart. So everything AWS is providing those commands also. I'll show you where that commands are there. Let's complete this one and I'll show you how to form the commands also. Because this is the documentation which is related to AWS command line interface. Here somewhere they'll provide that command to work with. Yeah, this is the one. Using the AWS CLI with AWS services. Suppose let's say I want some IAM related commands I want. Let's click on IAM. Creating an IAM users and groups. So then this is the command we have to use. AWS IAM create group and -- group name and what is the group name I want. So this is how like we can get the commands from the document, and here whatever the group name you want, just you can type the group name and execute the command inside your command prompt. So then also the group will get created. Just I'll show you one or two examples. Whatever the things we have done till now, like creating the user, adding a policy to the user. Okay, suppose let's say I'm adding a user to the group here. And here to verify that group contains the user or not. Just I'm verifying once the user is added, just I'm verifying whether the user is added or not. So like that, attaching an IAM managed policy to an IAM user. Okay, or setting some initial password for an IAM user, creating an access key and secret key for an IAM user. All those things programmatically we are doing. So for that, they are providing some commands. So let me, yeah, now my AWS CLI got uninstalled from the control panel. So let's go to this command prompt. And if you type the same command, AWS -- version command, see, currently I'm getting AWS is not recognized. Earlier it is installed, that's why it is showing that particular version. Now it is saying that AWS is not recognized. Then what I have to do, I have to download that AWS CLI. Configuring the AWS CLI, getting started, installer update. Yeah, in Windows, I want to download this one. Let's click on this one. Once I click on this one, you can see here AWS CLI v2.msi1 file is getting downloaded. Okay. So once it is downloaded, let it scan completed. So in your downloads button, you can see that also if you want. Let me go to the download section. So inside my download section, how that CLI logo will look like and all, I'll show you how that file will look like. Yeah, this is how it will look like. AWS CLI version 2.msi, version 2.msi. This is the one just now we downloaded. This already one file is there. That's why it is showing duplicate copy. Okay. Suppose let's say it is already there in my laptop, so I can delete one. There are two copies are there. Let me delete one copy. So once it is downloaded, you can able to see the one like this. Okay. So once it is there, once it is downloaded, you can right click on that one. Once it is downloaded to your laptop. Okay, anyway, it is taking too much time to delete. I don't want to delete right away. So once it is downloaded, the file like this, let's right click on that one. And there is an install button is there. Let's click on install. So then it will try to install. Just click on next. And here you have to check this condition. There are some license terms and conditions. You have to accept this one. Just click on next and then next, install. Once you've done that part, so this is one time setup only, the programmatic, then it will ask the confirmation yes or no. Just you have to click on yes. Then once you click on yes, then it will start installing. So this installation of the CLI and all one time setup only. Okay, just I'm showing for the first time. So later on, it will be existed in my laptop. So whenever I want to execute some CLI command, I can go on directly, I can execute that command. Okay. So once it is installed successfully, now here I'll come and again I'll verify the AWS -- version command only. Then it should display the version of the CLI which is installed. Okay, so let it get completed. So once everything is done, there is a finish button. Just click on that one. So now, if you open control panel, it will run that CLI there. Otherwise, from here also, AWS -- version, if you see, you can see that version. Sometimes, if it is installed also in the same window, if you are trying to verify in the same window, it may not work. It will still show that error only. Sometimes, some laptops and all. Then at the time, you can close the window and you can open the command prompt once again. Okay, so new command prompt you can open and then you can check if it is still, once it is installed also still it is showing the error, then you have to execute this command. So now I can able to see my AWS CLI is successfully installed. So once it is installed, then you have to if you want to work with the AWS, let's say AWS, I'll tell you one command, AWS S3 LS command. So this command will be helpful to see how many S3 buckets are there. Inside S3, we will create some buckets and all going forward. If you want to list what are the buckets are there in my AWS account, you can able to use this command. But here it is showing some exception saying that an error occurred, invalid access key. While calling the list buckets operation, the AWS access key you provided does not exist. So it is showing this exception for the first time. Why? Because you have installed the AWS CLI, that is fine, but you have not configured any credentials. It doesn't have any access key and secret key. That's why it is getting this exception. How to configure some access key and secret key? Suppose let's say I want to work with the programmatic way, means I needs to have the access key and secret key, like how the username and password is working in order to log into my portal. Similarly, the access key and secret key will be helpful to interact with my AWS account. So from where I can get that access key and secret key. If you want to work with the root user, you can able to get it from here. Suppose if I want to work with the developer one user, from the developer one, I can get that access key and secret key. This is the access key, but the secret key we can't able to get it once the credentials are created. So what I will do, let's delete this one. Already existing one, we can see only access key. We can't see, okay, as a as this user, developer one user, we can't able to delete the access key. It doesn't have the permission. Let's go to root user. Let's go to user section. Inside the user for developer one, I want the access key and secret key. Under security credentials. So the credentials are there already. Let me deactivate or delete those credentials. In order to delete, first we have to deactivate. Click on this button. Then we have to provide that access key. You have to copy that access key and needs to place. Then only we can see the delete button. Once you click on delete, then the access key, secret key got deleted. Now let's generate new set of credentials. While generating, you can see the access key and secret key both. Let me copy the both. This is the one I need. Let's paste these things in my. Let's show the secret key also. So first time you have to can see this access key, secret key without saving this one. Simply if you close, later you can't see the secret key at all. Okay. So otherwise you can download this CSV file. Then it will be it will contain these two files inside the CSV. Okay. So now I have copied the second value also. Let me provide this value. So these two values are required to access the programmatic way. Suppose if I use these two credentials, then whatever the permissions are there for this particular developer, those things only I can do via programmatic way also. Suppose if it doesn't have the permission, that means I can't able to work via programmatic way also. Okay, so now let me first how to configure the credentials. I'll show you. There is a command to set those credentials. That command is called configure, AWS configure. So before showing that command, I want to show you one thing. So currently I'm there at C directory, users folder, funny directory, right? I think it may take 5 to 10 minutes. We will extend today. We'll try to finish this topic. First let's go to this C directory, users folder and funny in your laptop. C directory, user section and funny directory. And inside that one, you can see there is a .aws folder will get created. Okay, so let me go to the .aws folder, and here there are two folders are there. One is called, two files are there. One is config, other one is the credentials. If you open the credentials file, if I open that file with some notepad kind of thing, so here they will maintain the access key and secret key. These are some maybe older credentials. Earlier I configured some credentials, but these credentials are not there. That's why it is showing this exception. Whenever I am trying to do this operation, invalid access key it is showing. Why? Because these credentials are not at all existed in my AWS account. I may delete it at the time only. Similarly, there is a config file is there. If I try to open that file, it may have two details. One is output and region, which region you are working and all. These details will be stored inside config. These details will be stored inside these credentials. So simply, you can able to delete this AWS file also. Once you delete also, so whenever you are configuring the credentials, at the time, the .aws folder will get created automatically. So now let's click on AWS configure command. Then we'll see it will ask the access key. Okay. So once I set the access key, copy the access key. Next, set the secret key. which you can copy from here. So once you set the access key and secret key, what region you want to work with? Okay, suppose let's say I am currently working with, so till now we have worked with IAM only, right? IAM is not a specific to any particular region. For all the regions, IAM is same. But remaining services, S3, EC2, all those services, it will be region specific. Okay. So currently you can go with whatever the service name, whatever the region you want. Let's click on next. That's it. Otherwise, just click on enter. That's it. So similarly, default output, you can set it as JSON. Okay. Let's click on enter. So now I configured some credentials. So once you configure the credentials, if you go to this user section and funny user, there will be one .aws folder will get created. See the timing, just now it is created. If you open that one, inside the two files will be created. One is called config and credentials. If you open the credentials one, so the credentials, whatever you have configured will be maintained inside the file. And the config, whatever the details you have configured, which region and which output and all, those details will be maintained over here. Output we configured as JSON, but region it is selected as none, right, earlier. So region we have not selected anything. That's why it is not selected the region value inside the config. Okay, so now I can able to do the operations. If I know the commands, then I can work with. So if it has the permission to do or to display that thing, it will show. So earlier, if I use AWS S3 ls command, it is showing some exception, but now it is showing empty. Empty means it doesn't have any buckets. Currently inside S3, you don't have any buckets. So that's why it is not showing any buckets. So if you want to see via UI also, let's go to S3, and if you open the S3, there are no buckets. Currently 0 buckets are there in S3. So that's why it is not showing anything. It is showing empty. See, buckets are 0. So that's why it is showing 0. So now I will show you how to create a, let me first grant some permission. I'll try to see what and all IAM users are there, or otherwise I'll try to create a new IAM user. So before trying to create a user, first we'll verify whether the particular developer has the permission to create a IAM user or not. So in order to create an IAM user, he needs to have that IAM full access permission. So first let's verify that IAM full access permission he is not having. So what is the exception we'll get if we try to create a user, we will verify. So if you need the command, how to create that user and all, from this document only, CLI related document inside the IAM service. So here you can able to get it, how to create a user or how to create a group. So first let me try to create a group command. This is the command. If I execute this command, here my group name will be, let's say, group 1. I'm trying to create a group 1. So AWS will be common for every command. After that, what will be your service name? After that, what is the action you are doing? Whether you are creating a user or creating a group or creating a policy or creating a role or delete a user or delete a group, like that, the action and the action name. Suppose let's say if it is a group name, if it is a user name, and what is the username. So like that you have to form a command. Let's click on enter. Then if it has the permission, then it will create the group. If it doesn't have the permission, it will throw some exception. Let me check. See, currently it doesn't have the permission. It is showing access denied. Why? Because the particular developer one doesn't have the IAM full access. That's why it is showing the exception. So let me grant the permission, attach an existing policy, and I am granting the full permission to the IAM in order to create some users and groups and all. So let me grant the permission. At the root level, I'm granting the permission, IAM full permission to the developer one. Now the same command, if you execute, then he can able to create the group. Without the permission, he can't able to create that resource via console or via CLI also. he can't able to create. Now it is created. See, the group is created. If you want, just you can go to this uh, groups and you can see group one should create. See, group one is created now. So if you want to create a user command, here they have maintained some user creation of user command. Let me copy that one. So the username will be same, my user only. Let's click on enter. So a user is created. Okay. So now currently the user is created. If you want to see that one, let's go to that user section, and inside the user you can see my user will get created. Let's refresh the screen. Let's refresh the screen. One user will get created. See, my user is created. Okay, so this is how a lot of things you can do. Add user to the group and verify whether the user is added to the group or not, and attaching an IAM policy. So in order to attach the IAM policy, first we have to ready the policy. So you have to ready the policy as a JSON, and then while you have to set that policy. Okay, first you should make that policy ready. Later you can able to attach that policy. And while creating the user itself, you want to set some password also. Then you have to create that password over here, and you have to generate some access key and secret key for the user. Then you can use this command. So this is how lot of things you can do. And one more thing, currently here they have provided some minimal commands, right, just to create a user or to delete a user and all. There is one more page is there where you can see all the list of the services you can able to. Let's go to AWS CLI documentation. Yeah, this is the one. AWS CLI command reference is there, right? If you open this one, inside this one, service by service, it will display. Suppose let's say I want some IAM related things. Let's go to identity and access management. IAM or full form identity and access management. Yeah, let's open IAM. Inside the IAM, what and all commands I want. So suppose let's say I want to create a group, or I want to create a user, or I want to delete a group, I want to delete a. So like that, for each and every action, they have maintained separate document. Suppose let's say I want to delete a user. Sorry, delete user is very easy anyway. I want to create a policy. How to create a policy and all. If you open that create policy, just here they will explain what and all options I have to use. Create policy. The command is AWS IAM followed by create policy and hyphen hyphen policy name. What is the value of that policy name? And remaining options also, it is optional. If you want, you can provide. Otherwise, it doesn't require. Okay. So in the end where they will provide that command, how you can able to use the command. AWS IAM create policy hyphen hyphen policy name. What is the policy name you want? This is the policy name you can provide. And so hyphen hyphen policy document, you have to create the document in your laptop. Okay, in your laptop, that policy needs to be ready. First, the JSON format of code needs to be ready. Then only this command you have to execute to create the policy. Suppose that policy document is ready and that policy document file is this one. Suppose file and in this particular location inside your laptop, that JSON format of code is there. Then you can create that policy. Okay, this is how you can able to create a policy. You can create a user, delete user, all those things you can get it from this particular documentation. These all are related to IAM. If you go to AWS, inside the AWS, all the services related documents. Suppose if I want to work with uh, some other service, let's say EC2 service. Inside EC2, what and all things I can do. Those all things they will be maintained over here. Okay, it doesn't require that you have to by heart that CLI command. You can get that command from the document, and from there you can able to work with. Okay, so I'm not telling each and every command. Just if you want, just you can try, go to IAM and you can try to experiment, try to do things via programmatically also something. Then only you'll get an idea. And once everything is done inside IAM, what you have to do, you have to clean up the resources, whatever the things you have created. Inside IAM, usually you will not get any billing and all, but for better practice purpose, so whatever the resources you have created till now, just delete everything. Okay. So going forward, we'll work with the root user only in IAM. But in the organization and all, you have to follow these standards. Just for practice purpose, the resources whichever you have created, let's select all those resources and click on delete. So in order to delete, in order to confirm the delete, you have to enter the delete in the text input field. Here you have to enter delete. So then only you can delete. So now all the users I am deleting. With that, we have completed our IAM topic. Okay, so users are deleted. Now let's go to groups. All the groups also I'm trying to delete. Let's delete the groups. So policies and all, it doesn't require to delete at all. So I'll keep the policies as it is and I'll keep the roles. Users and groups I'll delete. Because if I doesn't delete the users, if someone know my developer one username and password, they can able to create the resources in my AWS account. Okay. So that's why I'll delete that users and groups. Okay. Any doubts till now in IAM? With that, we have completed. Tomorrow we will take a break. Okay. And Monday we will start some new service. EC2 service we will start on Monday. So I think no doubts. Let's go to the videos. Swati, you not joined first two classes. One is demo and the second one is AWS IAM first topic. So we missed. Just follow those two videos and this third video. Three videos you can cover in tomorrow. Tomorrow anyway we don't have class. If you have any doubts, let me know. I'll explain once again. Monday we will start some new service. Okay. Thank you guys. I'll be closing the session. Bye.
Thank you. Please like, share, and subscribe.